I think there are different concepts which are being used in a very mixed up fashion. When you look at what we have already achieved, the list of competences was already agreed, including many of the footnotes. A lot of work went into it. Now, Mr. Anastasiadis says that the effective participation of Turkish Cypriots may trigger deadlocks in the federal government. Therefore, it might be better to give less competences to the federal government and leave more competences to the constituent states, therefore minimizing the risk of deadlocks and friction. If this is the proposal, Turkish Cypriot side will not have a problem with this, but I must note that during the negotiations we came up with deadlock resolving mechanisms precisely to address the concern now expressed by Mr. Anastasiadis. So I'm not so sure whether this concern is of great importance right now, or should be the main focus of the discussions on how to solve the remaining aspects of the Cyprus problem. There are more important issues. Now, decentralization can mean something else. It can mean that you give a competence to the federal government, but the federal government, in exercise of this competence, chooses to delegate this to the constituent states in the name of the federal government. And we are open to that suggestion as well. That's not a problematic area. Actually, this kind of a system has been designed for several competences which we agreed to leave to the federal government. So, if you ask me, I would not put this issue at the top 10 list of the important outstanding issues. This can be easily resolved. We can eliminate some of the competences and leave those as residual powers to constituent states. We can also ask the constituent states to exercise some of the powers of the federal government in the name of the federal government through a cooperation agreement between constituent states and the federal government. I don't know why Mr. Anastasiadis lately increased this issue and put it at the front of his agenda. But I suppose United Nations will ask for clarifications, just like President Akıncı did. It would be a good move, I think, for him to put his ideas on paper and share it both with us and with the United Nations. I think all along he was talking about this idea that the federal government should not be too much involved with the daily affairs of people. So from that point of view, it was consistent with his approach all along, but the list of competences was agreed with his blessing. So I was a little bit puzzled when he put this at the public discussion, giving the impression that he asked for it and this was rejected by the Turkish Cypriot side, which is not the case.
Two states of confederation, are those models an option for Turkish Cypriot side?
If our Greek Cypriot counterparts feel, or the Greek Cypriot voters feel that a federal solution cannot be accepted, a federal solution that Turkish Cypriot side will have political equality, will have effective participation, then we need to think about what we do, because you cannot keep the Turkish Cypriot side like a hostage of the non-solution of the Cyprus problem when Turkish Cypriot side keeps saying yes to to a federal system. We said yes for the Yanam plan. We said yes in the Cyprus conference. We right now want a time-limited, result-oriented effort. But if all these efforts are exhausted, and once again the Greek Cypriot community decides that they don't want to go into this partnership with us, then of course the leaders will have the responsibility to tell the people on both sides what next.